Nobody starts at the finish line. You have to start somewhere. In order for you to get to where you're going, to meet that destination, you can't think that you're going to get there instantly. Welcome to another episode of the Nothing to Something podcast, where I talk about my real life experiences, the things that I've been through, how you could go from a nothing to a something place with different areas of life. And I'm not a professional, but I have knowledge and I also have expertise and experience. So what we're touching on today in this episode is selflessness. You heard me? We're talking about selflessness. Like, understand what it means to be selfless. Understand not only can it or is it a good trait to have, but also see the flip side of selflessness and how it can be actually bad sometimes. How people could manipulate and how people can use you and how to even stop, right? And that's what we're talking about. And I didn't say selfish, I said selfless, right? So let's just first define what selflessness means. You know, when you're selfless, you are concerned with other people. You're concerned about how they feel. You're concerned about their needs. You're concerned about their problems. You're concerned about their wants. Like, you have a genuine concern about how you can help them, like what you can do for them. It's not about what they can do for you in the relationship. It's strictly about what you can do for them. Now, is that amazing? Is that great? Like, you are literally looking at other people as a way of how you can be a servant to them, like how you can serve them. Like, and maybe it's a major way, maybe it's a small way, right? But that's a great quality to have, being selfless, whether it's at work, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's in your relationship with others, whether it's with your relationship with your kids, or, you know, your parents or your friends. It doesn't matter. Like, when you're being selfless, guess what? That is going to attract people to you. So even if you don't have that quality or that attribute, these are some of the things that you could do to go from a nothing place to a something place to become selfless, right? Know that it's going to make people gravitate towards you, right? Because they are going to see that you are interested in them, right? And something that I've learned is one of the biggest ways to be interesting is to be interested. So, you know, the more that you are showing genuine concern and interest in other people and the things that they want and the things that they need, on how you can help them, or even just being there for them, these are all different ways to show you either have selflessness or you're trying to develop it, right? It helps you to connect with people. Like who don't want to feel connected to somebody? Like, come on, like, let's think about it for a second. Like, we all want to feel connected to somebody. And that's one of the easiest ways to connect to people, is to be selfless and look at how you can help them, right? But understand that that has to be something that comes from your heart. It can't be something that you're like, oh, well, if I do this, I'm going to get this in the end. No, that's not how it works. Now, the person that you're doing that to, they may not realize it, right? But it's not really genuine. And guess what? People can see that. Like, I don't know who people be thinking they fooling. People can see, they can read between the lines, right? They can read to see the smoke in the mirrors. You might fool some, but you can't fool all, right? So instead of acting like you're selfless or acting like you are really concerned and care about others, why not do it from your heart? Like, why not show it where it really counts? It's not all about what you're thinking about, but it's about how you feel, right? It's about how you make them feel. And it's also about how you feel about them, right? And it's just period. And obviously your selflessness can be on a basic level, and it can actually be on a higher level. And obviously it depends on the relationship that you have with a person or with the job, no matter what the situation is, right? But guess what? What does that lead to? That leads to a lasting relationship. Like, understand that. Think about how much better your relationship with your spouse will be if you are being selfless to them. And I ain't talking about no matter what y'all might be going through, no matter what they might have did to you, right? What y'all seem like y'all can't get over. I can almost guarantee you the moment that you start being selfless to them, watch how much things change, right? And these are things that I apply in my life myself. Like, I ain't just saying this to y'all and I ain't applying this to me. Like, everything that I say, it applies to me also, right? So, but understand, it creates a lasting relationship with your spouse, right? With your parents, right? And it makes it have substance. It makes it have meaning. It gives it character. It ain't just bland. Like, listen, we don't even want bland food. Like, if I gave you a piece of chicken and I ain't put no seasoning or nothing on it, right? You're going to be like, I don't want this. Like, seriously, you ain't going to want it. Now, I don't even eat chicken, right? Even if you give me some vegetables and you season them joints up good, guess what? They gonna be hitting. But who wants to just eat something bland? That's the same way in a relationship with a spouse, with a friend, with a parent, child, even in work, right? If it's bland, it don't have no substance. And how long can that actually last? It may last for a little while, but it may not last for a long while. And what we're talking about is going from a nothing to something place with selflessness, right? So you can be selfless, right? But understand that is going to lead. That is one of the key things that leads to a very lasting, loving, enthusiastic relationship, because it has substance. It has meaning. It adds value. Biggest way to add value is to be selfless, right? How do you want to add value? Be selfless. There it is. Now, but I'm about to tell you something that you may not even have looked at it, or you may even be dealing with it. So now we're talking about how to go from a nothing place to a something place with selflessness in a bad way, right? We talked about all the good ways. We talked about, how to start developing the quality, right? But here's some of the bad ways that you might not even think about, right? Or some people are even dealing with. You might start feeling used. You start feeling like, yo, who looking out for me? Like, I'm looking out for this person. I'm looking out for that person. I'm doing this for this person. I'm doing this for the job. But who's looking out for me? Like, what am I getting out of this? Like, at some point, you start feeling like I'm getting the short end of the stick here. Like, this ain't helping me out none. Like, I'm getting burned out. Like, I'm tired. Like, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually. Listen, you can be feeling burned out in almost every area of your life when you're not getting nothing in return, right? When you don't feel like nobody looking out for you, nobody thinking about you, nobody really is concerned about your needs, your wants, your desires. Like, you start questioning the dynamic of everything. Like, legit, you're going to start questioning the dynamic of your relationship. And I promise you, if you're dealing with this and you're trying to go from a nothing place to a something place so you can stop feeling these negative sides of people using you and taking advantage and maybe manipulating you, right? One of the things that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to ask for help. Like, listen to me. It's so easy to be that person that's always trying to help other people, and you can easily take on too much. You can take on the responsibility too much, right? And get overwhelmed. Nobody may know that you overwhelmed. Nobody may know that you got too much on your plate, right? So you don't ask for help. And people are so used to you being helpful and you being selfless that they just pile it on. They just pile it on. They might call you up and they want to dump all this information onto you. You don't got nowhere to put it, right? They want to ask you for help. You don't listen. You just tapped out. Okay? Like maybe financially, right? Listen, it can even take a physical burden on you when you're taking on other people's problems like it's your own. Like it ain't even your problem, but you taking it on and like, oh, let me see how I can help. Let me see what I could do. And even if they get offended by something, like somebody may do something to them and you get offended by it in such a way that it does something to you. It didn't even happen to you. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Ask for help. Not only ask for help, right? Take the help. Like so many times, you may ask for somebody to help you, but then when they say, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can help out. You be like, nah, you know what? It's cool. I got it. I'll take care of it. Knowing in the back of your mind, you really kind of want the help, right? And it may not have nothing to do with pride, but it also may have something to do with pride, right? It's a reason. Like, listen, you might get something out of helping other people, right? But sometimes, listen to me, sometimes you gotta take the help so you can get the help. That's something that you have to do. If you're feeling like you're getting burned out, you're feeling like you're getting mistreated, you're feeling like nobody is helping you, nobody is there for you. If you start feeling these things, not only ask for help, but also take the help. You know what I mean? So like, listen, take that burden off of you, right? Take it off of you. Here's some of the next steps that you need to take, right? Next steps that you need to take. You need to realize your own personal needs. Like you have to listen. You have to realize your own personal needs. You have to take in consideration you need time for yourself mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, right? You have to take that time out. Emotionally, you have to take your time out for yourself. Listen, write it down. Look, I need to take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes to myself when I get off of work before I go into work. I need to just have a little bit of time to digress, right? You may say, whenever I'm dealing with other people's stuff, I gotta say, nah, not right now. I can't, I got too much on my plate right now, right? And you don't even have to get into what you got going on. Like, that's your choice, right? But you have to realize your own needs before you can just start taking on all these other people's needs, right? And guess what? Even if you already have taken on all these different needs of others, all you have to do is realize your need and then take care of it. Listen to me. I can remember a time when I was just doing so much for other people, seeing every time something came up, it was like, oh yeah, I can help you out. Oh yeah, I got you. Oh, no problem. And then at the end of the day, I was like, man, like, yo, why did I say that I could do that? Why did I say that? Like, I had to realize, yo, I can't do everything. And guess what? That's okay. You can't do everything for everybody and still be trying to do everything for you. It's somewhere the ball is going to drop. And when you a selfless person, guess who get the short end of the stick? Unfortunately, sometimes it's you. It's not even them. That's the crazy thing about it. It be you. Like you had taken a loss. And you're the one that's dealing with it inwardly. Like you ain't even saying nothing to them about it, because of you being a person that you are. So listen to what I'm saying. Realize the need that you have and then take care of the need that you have. So write it down, right? I don't care if you write it on a sticky note. I don't care if you put it in your phone, put it in your notepad as a reminder. I don't care if you put it in, go to Dollar Tree and get you a book or anywhere, write it down. Look, take note of it so you can take care of it. That way you ain't putting it to the wayside and you ain't like, oh, I'm going to get to it later. Okay? You can't just keep saying, I'm going to just get to it later. No, you got to get to it now. Right? Because if not you, then who? Answer that. If you don't take care of you, then who is going to? Right? You may have a spouse. You may have kids. You may have parents who all love you, right? Friends who all love you, right? That don't mind being there for you. That don't mind doing things for you, right? But understand, nobody can take care of you the way you need to take care of you first, right? And how can you expect anybody to do anything for you if you don't take the steps that you need to take for yourself first? I always say the easiest way to know how to treat somebody is look at how they do themselves. Like if people see that you put the utmost concern into taking care of your mental space, right? Your physical being, right? And you do everything you can to protect that, your emotional space, people will second guess before what they do either to you, right? Or see how they can help you. That is what they're going to do. They love you anyway. Why wouldn't they? Here's another step that you actually going to have to take. This is a hard one, right? For some of us, this is a hard one, right? Saying no. Guess what? It's hard to say no sometimes. It ain't always easy. Listen, when you're a selfless person, guess what? The last thing you want to say is no. You don't want to say no, right? You are, as that Jim Carrey movie that came out, you a yes man or yes woman. Yes this and yes that. Sure I can. Oh, no problem. But you ain't even think about how it's going to play out. You ain't thought about how it's going to look on the other side. You ain't count the costs. You ain't did nothing. All you did was, yes, I can, because you are being selfless. And guess what? That's a loving thing. It's good. You did it from your heart. But listen to what I'm saying to you. Sometimes you have to actually say no. That's just what it is. You have to know how to say no to your spouse. As tough as it is, you got to know how to say no to your kids. You got to know how to say no to your parents. You got to know how to say no to your friends. You got to know how to say no to certain things at work. Okay? Now, I ain't telling you to just go to work and be like, no, I ain't doing this and no, I ain't doing that. And be like, oh, yeah, I did what he said and I lost my job. No, that ain't what I'm telling you, right? What I'm saying is, it's some stuff that's just unreasonable. And you just like, I just can't. Like, it's like, I'd rather tell you, no, I'm not going to be able to do that than give you the impression that I can fulfill this task. And then when it don't get fulfilled, you're mad at who? Me. And understand that people only give the answer to what you actually said to them. So if you told them yes, so when you came back later and said, oh, it didn't happen, their response is, well, I thought that you could. If you would have told me that you couldn't, I would have asked somebody else, or I would have gave you some more support. It's the same thing in a relationship, right? No matter what the dynamic of the relationship is. they give you the response that they give you based upon the answer that you gave them, right? So if you ask them, hey, are you going to be able to fulfill this? Are you going to be able to do this? And you say yes, and then it doesn't happen, it's only logical that their response may be, oh, well, why? Or being upset or this, that, and the third, right? But they may be understanding, right? But at the end of the day, you don't get full credit, right? For partial completion. It's just not going to happen. If you go and you turn in an assignment and you only did, guess what, 70% of it, guess what? Even if 70% of it is all correct, but you didn't do that last 30, you're not going to get a passing grade because you're not going to get that 100, okay? Because you got a 70% of it right, but the rest of it is you didn't do nothing. It's not there. So I can't give you full credit for partial completion. So understand sometimes you just have to say no. These are another steps. Sometimes you just have to let things go. Boop. You gotta let something go. Sometimes you can't be, you holding on to so much stuff, right? You holding on to this thing, you holding on to that thing, and you just gotta let stuff go sometimes. Like, if you let it go, right? Watch how fast you get a sigh of relief, right? And you may have to let go some things that you really don't want to. But at the end of the day, when you're trying to get on the other side of feeling used or manipulated or taken advantage of, you have to let some things go. And guess what? Sometimes it's relationships with people. You got to just let them go, right? Sometimes it's jobs. You know what? This job is taking too much out of me. Got to let it go. Got to find something else. You know what I mean? I got to make that transition. You just have to do that. So if you're trying to go from a nothing place to a something place dealing with selflessness, right? Again, not only know the good side of it, but also know the bad side of it, being concerned about people, looking to connect with people, looking to have lasting relationships with people, right? But know the flip side of it, that it may make you feel used and it may make you feel burned out, and you may have to ask for help and accept the help. You may have to realize your needs and your wants and take care of them. And you may have to say no to some stuff, and you just might have to just let some things go. That's just the way it is, unfortunately, right? Remember, you are great. So this is one of my great moments that I had, right? One of the moments that I had is, I remember being a kid and, my friend, his dad was taking him to the, the carnival, little local carnival that came in town. And, we go to the carnival, we having a good time. We get all these tickets. I'm like, all right, cool, bet, this is nice. And in the midst of it, we get on this ride. It's not a big ride, right? We get on this ride called the Ring of Fire. We get on the Ring of Fire. I'm like, all right, cool. Now we get on the joint, it go up, it come back. It go up, it come back. It go up, it come back. And then it loop, right? It loop a couple times. It loop. So in the midst of, I'm having a good old time on the Ring of Fire. At that moment, the Ring of Fire stopped upside down. Oh my goodness, listen to me. I was shook. Because it wasn't like, oh, it just stopped right there and that was part of the ride. No. It stopped right there because the ride got stuck. And I'm talking, we was upside down for a good 5 minutes. I mean, my head was hurting, all this blood rushing to my brain. They're like, we trying to figure out how to get it to come back down. Oh, we so sorry. They using the loud, the loud PA thing to try to talk to us back and forth. Keep calm, keep calm. I hear the fire station truck in the back. And before the fire trucks could finally actually get there, they finally got it to come back down. and everything. We get off. They give my buddy's dad a whole bunch of coupons and this and that. And, I was just shook. That ruined it for me. I didn't want to get on no more roller coasters ever again. That wasn't even a roller coaster, right? So even down to this day, I've probably been on like 4 or 5 roller coasters since I was a kid, like 12, 13 or something. I don't do them. I'm cool. I'll pass.
You're in control of how you feel. You're in control. You are the determining factor of your feelings. No one else can control how you feel. Remember, you're in control how you feel. So control your feelings.